Hi guys and gals, today we're going to talk about two great exercises that are a variation of pull-up, but they're going to affect your body in a different way. One of them is going to affect your back, specifically the rear delt muscle or the back side of your shoulder, and the other one is going to affect your bicep brachii and other muscles in front of your arm. They look really similar, but they're gonna be performed different way. I already have a video about pull-ups, you can check that out. But doing pull-ups still, if you do all those things, is gonna be a little bit challenging for some people, specifically if you want to really work with hypertrophy and you're just a beginner and you want an exercise that you can do for a little bit higher reps. This is gonna really help you because you're not gonna have the whole weight of your body just hanging from your hands. You're gonna get support from your legs. This exercise is called horizontal pull-up. And as mentioned in that video, there are a lot of variations for doing pull-up. Two of them was by supinating your hand and coming narrow. So this is supination of the hand and coming narrow. So it's gonna be a little bit like shoulder width or a little bit closer. And the other one was by pronating your hand and going wide. Now, as mentioned in that video, when you pronate and go wide, you're gonna affect the muscles in this area. So the outer part of your back, the lateral part of your back, and when you supinate and come close, you're gonna affect more the front side of your arm. I'm gonna perform it first, so both of the exercises I'm gonna perform them, and then I'm gonna go through the details. Good. Now, as you saw, I pronated, went wide and brought it to my chest. And when I supinated as well, I was bringing it to my chest. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, you can supinate your hand and bring it to your forehead. So I come a little bit lower. And by bringing it high, you're gonna affect the bicep a lot more, but it's gonna be harder and more challenging. Now, as you saw, my legs were on this bench. That made me able to help myself more. So if I get tired, I just can push a little bit myself. But make sure you keep your back straight. It doesn't matter if you bring the knee a little bit high or not, it's just gonna help you. But make sure there is no hunching in the back. So try to keep the back flat, shoulders back, specifically if you're targeting the rear delt. Make sure the shoulders are back and you do not move it to target the rear delt a lot more. Make sure you control your head as well. So do not let it go back. Also make sure you do not flex your neck a lot as well. So just keep it neutral, aligned with your chest. Also, as mentioned in the videos that I have about back row or about bench press or other movements that revolve around shoulder movement, make sure your elbows are not too much up. So make sure you keep them below 90 degrees. So if this is 90 degrees, keep them a little bit lower. So around 80 degrees is gonna be enough when you do the rows. And also make sure you squeeze hard. So do not just grab the bar with your hand like a hook. Make sure you squeeze hard because you want to target your rear delt. For better shoulder activation, it's better that if you squeeze the bar or dumbbell or whatever else as hard as you possibly can. As you can see, there is a bar in here, and you can change the level of the bar. So the higher you go, it's gonna be easier. The lower you bring it, it's gonna be harder. So unless you're really advanced, do not bring it too much low. Specifically if you're training the bicep, because it's gonna be a little bit challenging to do it perfectly, specifically if you wanna bring the bar up. So by bringing the bar up, you should be able to push yourself a little bit in front to do this exercise perfectly. For you to understand it, you have to see my video about a spider curl. It's just gonna be a variation of a spider curl, but it's gonna be more challenging because the weight is gonna be a lot heavier. And also, if it's not challenging for you, so if you bring it up and it's just not that challenging, you can just put some weight on your chest. But again, as mentioned, make sure the shoulder is not just going forward and back. A lot of people get hurt by doing this exercise and they just bounce a lot. They are strong in bringing themselves up, but for going down, they just cannot control themselves and they just cause a lot of problems. Also, make sure the place you put your feet is stable. I've seen a lot of people getting injured from it because the bench is either too much forward and they just slip, or they just do not know how to keep themselves straight. So if your back is strong or your bicep is strong, but it's just a lot of weakness in your ab and your core activation, make sure you put your leg either on the ground, or you just bring the bar a little bit higher, or do some other exercises, because this exercise is not just for your bicep and your rear delt. You have to have a lot of stability in your ab as well, and in other core muscles as well.